Unfortunately, network security by itself will never be sufficient.
Hey everyone, my name is Vidya Murthy. I am excited to bring you week 3 of Myth Hackers. And this week we are talking about whether the responsibility of securing medical devices has been pushed towards healthcare delivery organizations, or HDOs. With me today is Axel Wirth. I'm really excited to have you be part of this conversation. As someone who was previously in the space of securing hospitals, I'm eager to hear what your initial take on this myth is.
So I think fundamentally you're correct, right? Today we still live in a world where we are deploying relatively insecure devices into a target environment, meaning the hospital network, and expect that security measures will be implemented there. Although realistically, that is probably the only practical option we have today, but I think we need to move away from it and find a different path in the future and as we move forward. The current approach, I think, leaves a number of problems and leaves two main security tasks to the hospital. One is to provide a secure network, and the second is to maintain the security posture of the devices through patching and similar mitigation. Unfortunately, network security by itself will never be sufficient, and the network is unfortunately not the only attack vector. Think about, for example, USB-enabled attacks via thumb drive and similar. And also we need to recognize that I don't think that we will ever be able to patch fast enough and complete enough to become secure enough. Lastly, we need to recognize that unfortunately, healthcare does not have a stellar track record on security. And cyber adversaries know that, and they have identified the healthcare industry as an easy target.
What do you think would be the appropriate mix or strategy for the various stakeholders in healthcare delivery to think about which part of security do they own?
Typically, we look at the price of the product of a device at the time of purchase, and consequently, the manufacturer tries to keep as much cost as possible out of the product and keep the price as low as possible because they know the buyer is looking for the lowest price. And that culture, unfortunately, leaves the burden of security on the wrong side of the equation and will result, as we discussed, in a higher total cost and lower security posture across the entire life of a product. So in order to solve that problem in the long term and in the most secure way, we need to start embracing a concept of proactive security, security designed into the device itself, rather than expect hospitals to try their best to protect their networks.
I think it's spot on to say that with every day passing, we need to reassess whether the impact of this myth actually being reality and what strategy we're using to implement to actually kind of change the course of events that we're on the current trajectory for. This is a great conversation. I appreciate your time and thanks again for being here.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me.